A lot of us think the hard part is just getting rich, that once you hit a seven-figure net worth, you've crossed the finish line. But the reality? More wealth just means there are more sophisticated, more devastating ways to lose it all. In this explainer, we're pulling back the curtain on the invisible traps that can drain a fortune and leave even high earners feeling completely broke.
Okay, so first things first, we have to understand this absolutely critical distinction. Are you funding a lifestyle or are you building a net worth? One is all about consumption, about appearances. The other is about accumulating assets and creating real security. And listen, the key here isn't how much you make, it's what your primary goal is with the money you have.
And that really just nails the core question of this entire explainer, doesn't it? One person is building this beautiful, elaborate stage set that looks incredible but could collapse at the slightest pressure. The other is building a financial fortress, stone by stone, designed to withstand anything. So you have to ask yourself, which one are you building?
All right, let's dive into our first set of traps. I call these psychological leaks. And honestly, these are often the most dangerous because they don't come from the outside world. They come from within us, from our own emotions, our habits, and our own mindset. Get ready for this because this statistic is it's wild. Almost 40% of households that earn over $500,000 a year are still living paycheck to paycheck. This just proves, right? A huge income does not automatically equal financial security. So what in the world is going on here?
Well, a big part of it is something called lifestyle creep. You know how it works. You get a big promotion, a nice raise, and you finally buy that beautiful new house. But then all of a sudden, your old furniture looks kinda sad in the new space. So you upgrade that. And now, that 10-year-old car in the brand new driveway, it sticks out like a sore thumb. See? It's a chain reaction where every purchase feels totally reasonable on its own, but when you add it all up, it eats every last cent of your progress.
The other huge psychological leak is what we call emotional scaling. Now, a 20% loss is a 20% loss, right? Well, mathematically, yeah, but emotionally, not even close. Losing $2,000 on a $10,000 portfolio is annoying, for sure, but losing $400,000 on a $2 million portfolio, that feels like a 5-alarm fire. Your brain doesn't see the percentage, it sees the life-changing amount of money that's just vanished.
And this emotional scaling isn't just a theory. It has devastating, real-world consequences. Just look at the market panic in March of 2020. Investors yanked over $300 billion out of the market. They let that fear take over, selling right at the bottom, and in doing so, they missed one of the most explosive market rallies in modern history.
So moving on to our second category. These traps have nothing to do with what's going on in your head. No, this is about the actual architecture of your finances. We're talking about the invisible structural cracks in your financial fortress. And the first structural crack is this slow, silent killer: tax inefficiency. This isn't some big dramatic market crash. Nope. It's a quiet, relentless drain on your wealth that happens year after year, often completely under the radar.
I mean, just look at this. According to Morningstar research, a combination of poor tax planning and just unnecessary fees can literally wipe out up to 35% of your final wealth over 20 years. Think about that. A third of your potential nest egg, just gone. That's the difference between retiring comfortably and having to work for another decade.
And then we have this strange paradox, the illiquid millionaire. This is the person who looks fantastic on a spreadsheet, but has no access to their own cash. Their wealth is all tied up, basically making them a prisoner of their own balance sheet.
It turns out about 2/3 of millionaires have their money locked up in things like their house, their 401k, or maybe a private business. So they might have a net worth of $2 million, but they can't easily get to that money without facing huge tax penalties or going through a super long sales process. So yeah, they're rich, but they might have trouble scrounging up enough cash to buy a sandwich.
Okay, for our last category, we have to look outside our own walls. Because once you've built your fortress, you have to defend it from the outside world. And the unfortunate truth is, as your net worth grows, so does the size of the target on your back. So let me ask you a question, and I want you to really think about this. Imagine a guest slips and falls at your house today. It's a bad accident, and $1 million lawsuit follows. Now, where's that money coming from? Is an insurance company going to handle it? Or are you being forced to liquidate your investments and maybe even sell your home? And this just shows the incredible asymmetry of risk. A single unlucky day could completely wipe out everything you've spent a lifetime building. The solution? a $1 million umbrella insurance policy, which often costs less than $500 a year. It is hands down the cheapest and most effective peace of mind money can buy.
But the threats don't stop with you. And this, right here, is one of the most sobering statistics in all of finance. 70% of wealthy families lose it all by the second generation. That's right, by the time it gets to the grandkids, the money is gone. Building wealth is one skill. Making it last is a whole other ballgame. And if you want a perfect and truly tragic real-world example of this, look no further than the musician Prince. He passed away without a will. And of his $156 million estate, more than half of it, $87 million, was just eaten up by taxes and legal fees. Without a proper estate plan, you're not passing on a legacy. You're handing the people you love a giant, expensive, heartbreaking mess.
Okay, so we've talked about the psychological leaks, the structural cracks, and the external threats. It's a lot, I know. But how do you actually fix it? Well, it all starts with a simple audit to shore up your defenses.
Here it is. This is your action plan. First, audit your psychology. Are you a victim of lifestyle creep? Be honest. What are your emotional triggers that cause you to make bad money decisions? Second, audit your structure. Is your portfolio tax efficient, or are you just bleeding money, and can you get to your cash when you need it? And third, audit your defenses. Is your insurance coverage actually adequate for your net worth? And please, do you have an updated estate plan?
And all of this brings us right back to that original question, because protecting your wealth isn't about being pessimistic or paranoid. It's about being intentional. It's about making sure that the thing you worked so hard to build is a true fortress, designed to last for generations and not just some beautiful